Boom! It's Monday night once again. Welcome to another Ats on This TV live Monday night broadcast. I hope everybody is well. It's just gone 9 o'clock here live. If you're listening on the replay or you're watching on the replay, come and join us some Monday night at 9 p.m. till 10 o'clock. Tonight we're going to be talking about loads of stuff. I'm going to be recapping on our member-only mastermind session with Showreel producer Chris Stone last week. So I'm going to play a few clips of that out for you guys in the audience who might be looking to tweak your Showreel right now, make a Showreel. Maybe you've just not got a Showreel yet. That's totally cool as well. We're going to be playing a few clips of that out. I'm going to be sharing behind the scenes of what is coming up later on this month for members of atsonthis.tv. We'll do some Q&A. Basically, just chew the fat. Just anything that you guys think is going to be useful. And I need some feedback on just some stuff for members of atsonthis.tv that's coming up in terms of, other things that you will need this year, because I can kind of give you what I think you need, but sometimes it's better to actually ask you what it is that you want if you are a member of atsonthis.tv. If you're not, before we begin, I've got an offer you cannot refuse until midnight tonight. So this is only going to apply to those people watching live, basically. I am running the Ats on This TV 5-day Acting Career Accelerator Challenge, basically. This is where I give away for literally free of charge, no credit card required, nothing at all. I give away 5 of the best features I've ever recorded for atsonthis.tv over the last 10 years, completely for nothing. Go to atsonthis.tv/challenge if you want to get involved. I unlock one a day for you over the next 5 days. So it started today. That's why you've only got till midnight tonight to get in. After that, no more people can come in, because it would mean you would be instantly behind if you join tomorrow. It starts today. You get one feature unlocked literally right now, and then you'll get another feature unlocked every day this week, along with a challenge. You need to go to atsonthis.tv/challenge to register for your free place now. If you are a member, you can still do this, by the way. It's meant so that non-members can kind of get a gist of the site and what it's about. But if you're already a member and you just want to go through some of the previous features we've recorded with some structure to get clear on your career this year, by all means, atsonthis.tv/challenge, go get a place. You will see this page when you head over there. Hit one of the green buttons underneath to get your place. Like I say, free of charge, completely free of charge. And you will get access to these 5 features over the next 5 days. Day 1 is Showreels, all about Showreels with Chris Stone. Day 2 is about getting an agent, a top agent with Lizzie Ferguson, great agent from Hamilton Adele, one of the biggest agencies in London. Day 3 is with Peter Hunt, top Hollyoaks casting director, talking about getting your first or your next TV role fast. Day 4, casting royalty, Mr. Daniel Edwards in the house. He's the co-casting director for Line of Duty. He's currently casting a brand new show for Netflix called Heartstopper as well. He's coming back to atsonthis.tv on the 9th of February. So if you remember, you're going to get to speak to Daniel pretty much one-to-one on our next Zoom call. And then Daniel Mays is our guest for Day 5, talking about creating a career that lasts. I think Daniel is one of the most talented actors to ever come out of this country. So all 5 features for free is 10 hours of coaching, and you've got 2 hours, 53 minutes and 27 seconds to go and get your place. atsonthis.tv/challenge. Before I went live, roughly 240 actors had grabbed the place. We normally get about 250 on each intake. I do this every couple of months, so if you don't get in now, you might be waiting 8-12 weeks. So go over to atsonthis.tv/challenge to get your bloody place. So that's that, basically. That's just to begin with. We're now going to recap on some Showreel stuff from last week. But before that, I'll dive into some comments. All right, Mr. Tony Rossi's here, all the way from the US of A. I hope everything is all right in America, mate. I've heard there's snowstorms sweeping the country in parts of America right now. Leroy's here. How you doing, mate? Julie's here. Cheryl's in the house. Amy, how you doing? Hope you're... Amy, I've not emailed you back. We were supposed to do that podcast, weren't we? Email me. Drop me an email. Let me know when you want to do it. It's going to be a weekend. Maybe... could be maybe this Saturday. I've got an Ats on This. We do our Ats on This member meet up on the first Saturday of the month. We can maybe do it after that if you want. I'll try and figure that out for you. Do let us know. I'm constantly asking people to do podcasts with me, so I feel so snide if I don't do them with other people if I get asked. So if anyone wants me to do a podcast, more than happy to when I have time. Harry, how you doing? Hope you're well. Kyle, good evening. In terms of Showreels, yeah, we held a Showreel surgery session that I do for members of atsonthis.tv every quarter. I always bring in Chris Stone, who I think, in my opinion, is just the top Showreel producer in the UK. He just creates incredible show showreels from scratch for actors. He's a fantastic editor as well. Him and his wife will write, will film, color grade, and edit a scene together for you. Literally custom made from scratch, bespoke to your casting type and what you want to achieve in the industry. Depending on the roles that you are going for right now, he will, make a scene that will play right into that for you to send off to casting directors and agents and whatever you want. I think you can get quite strategic when you're creating your own content in order to put it on a plate for casting directors and agents, basically to show them your ability and what you can do, as opposed to just allude to it. Or, we know they have imaginations. Of course they do. They're incredible imaginations because they're casting directors. That's what they do. They see people in different roles. But sometimes it's nice to just put it on a plate, innit, and go, no imagination required. I will just create a scene for you and you can see me in action. That's what Chris does. We held a, what was it, like nearly 3 hours, 3-hour mastermind session for members last Tuesday. And I've just pulled out just 2 clips tonight. That was all I wanted to pull out because we can talk about showreels in general and people can ask questions tonight. I'm more than happy to answer them. But we've covered a lot of this before. If you're a member of actonthis.tv, you can go and watch the replays of previous showreel surgeries. We play between 5 and 8 showreels out each night. We dissect them. Actors get to get feedback on their reel. And then a lot of actors go away, make edits, make reels better, and generally instantly have more success. The amount of messages I've had from people who have gone and they've made just like a simple tweak to their showreel that wasn't getting them in the room, and they've resent it out and they've changed the order of the scenes or something like that, and then they've ended up getting a bite, whether it's an agent meeting or a self-tape request or something like that. Happens a lot. Here is just some general advice that we spoke about from me and Chris, mainly from Chris, on just things to think about, like before you get your next showreel shot or edited, or maybe just things to think about to implement in your current showreel now. It's just a 2-minute clip and we'll discuss it in a sec, but this is just from the surgery the other night. Getting stuff shot from scratch, because this can play really for you or can play against you in terms of the stuff that you do for people. All your stuff's really good, Chris, but I see people going and getting stuff shot that is completely against type. What are like the absolute do's and don'ts, like the things that you must think about to begin with, and then the absolute pitfalls where you go, this could all go wrong if you don't put this in place straight away?
Spend the time looking at whoever's making it, me or whoever. Just spend the time researching, watch lots, and I mean lots and lots of their scenes. Research them as well. Are they a professional filmmaker, or are they an actor that's gone, well, you know what, I'll make a fast buck here, I'll just buy a camera? Because that's not going to quite work out as well as you think.
Or have they been a corporate video producer who have now gone, shit, the corporate world has fallen down, I'll do actor showreels?
That's the other thing as well. It's not just it looks pretty, it looks nice, but you want to actually work with a director that will work with the actor and nurture and get the very best performance out of you and know how to do that and work with you and, explore and play with the idea. With visuals, I think people forget it's a visual medium. It's not just dialogue and a shot of your head. It's so much more. It's film language. Essentially, that's what you need to do, is find somebody that
who knows
film language, because that's the difference between a showreel scene and something that actually looks like it's from film or TV. Then obviously it's the script. That is, the next key thing is what you're saying. You could be the best actor in the whole world, but if you're saying shit, then it makes you look shit. Boring dialogue that literally goes nowhere.
Can make a great actor look shit. Ultimately, it's finding a real filmmaker to shoot these scenes. Yeah. It's getting getting a script that's custom made that no one has seen anywhere else. It's not something you've pulled off BBC writer's room. It's casting the very best actor you can find. Then once it's been edited together and you've got it, Chris, that's when the real work for the actor begins, isn't it? Boom. It's just a few things to think about before you part with your money if you are going to get showreels shot from scratch, as Chris said there. And I think this is like the key thing to it all. And this is even before you work with Chris. I mean, obviously, we know Chris is decent and I recommend him above anyone else who shoots showreels, basically. But still do your own research. Make sure you are happy. I have seen an absolute influx of companies that have set up sort of last year. And I don't know if I've seen any, it's only January, innit? I've seen a couple of editors set up this year, not actually shooting showreels, but saying that they will edit them now. And it seems like people are going out and they're buying expensive cameras and they're thinking that's all required. As Chris said, you need to find people when you're getting showreel shot who are genuine filmmakers, can tell stories, have a career doing that that's not just shooting showreels, and they're not just corporate video producers who have realised the corporate market is now over for now because there's no corporate events happening during COVID. So they've gone, right, I'll just shoot some narrative. It's very, very different shooting corporate and shooting narrative. It's telling a story and getting a message across. Corporate's very much, here's our message. Narrative is like, here's an emotional story. I guess they both contain emotion within them. But yeah, do your research. Use the Ats on This Facebook group. Use the private community over on atsonthis.tv to share experiences. I'm not saying Chris is the only showreel producer out there who is good. There is bound to be other ones out there. I haven't worked with them, though, and I refuse to recommend people I haven't worked with just because I can't be 100% aligned with going, yep, I vouch for them. I can't do that. I would never do that. And people try and pay me to do that all the time, and I will never, ever be paid to promote something that I haven't used myself. I would rather promote things and not be paid because I just know that they're good, and obviously, looking after you guys, make sure that you always get quality. So that was the first point. Second point you mentioned there was scripts. And I think that's really key in terms of choosing. The script for you is obviously all going to be based on your casting type, what it is that you want to achieve with that scene. That's something that I think a lot of actors don't do. They don't think of actually what they're going to use it for in terms of what is the end result they want from having that scene on their showreel. Is it to show a side of them that they know is aligned with their casting type, but maybe the industry isn't allowing them to show right now? They're not being invited in to shoot scenes based on, on that side of them because no one's seen it yet. Maybe you're like, I need to prove that I can do this. That's always a good idea, but choose something that you deeply connect to emotionally. And that doesn't mean that has to be like heavy down emotion. It could be something you connect to on a humorous level. Comedy scenes can be fantastic when they're based on ridiculous situations you may have been in at one point in your life. I always find, though, when I shoot the best showreel scenes from scratch, they're always based on my own experience. And in that showreel scenery, in that showreel surgery that we did the other night, I played out a scene that I had shot with Chris that was kind of, it wasn't exactly based on my entire truth, my actual situation I was in. It was a breakup scene, but most people in their life have been through breakups. So you can absolutely relate to that. And I always find that when I can bring myself to a role, rather than have to bring the role so far from itself to me, my performance is way more authentic. Of course it is, because we're coming from a place where, there's true authenticity, that we can absolutely relate to. So fine, you get the best performances if you, if you do that and the script is, aligned with you. There's loads more that goes into obviously creating a great showreel scene. Actsonthis.tv if you want to watch the full 3-hour chat with Chris. We played some incredible showreels out. Vince, I don't know if he's on here, we played Vince Riotta's showreel out, who's a member of Acts on This, who really should be running Acts on This, because his showreel showed him opposite people like Tom Hanks, Antonio Banderas, who's Hannibal? Oh my God. Jack Nicholson? No. No, why can't I remember the actor's name? God, he's only one of the most famous actors in the absolute world. Someone's going to have to tell me that in the comments. I'm going to think about it myself, though. I will get it any second. Don't worry about it. But he also had... He would have Mila Kunis, I think. God, Vince's showreel was just amazing. And Vince's showreel broke a lot of the... an awful lot of the protocols that actually I would say... you should stick to, but because the work was from such massive stuff, you were captivated by the whole thing. So I think when you get to that level, the rules kind of go out of the window. Anthony Hopkins, thank you very much. Everyone's jumped in going, Hopkins, you dickhead. Yeah, I don't know why I just blanked out there. That was crazy. But yeah, Vince's showreel was amazing. So you can watch all of it, actsonthis.tv. If you get yourself over to the website, I'll show you dead quick. That's the challenge again, actsonthis.tv/challenge if you want a freebie. But if you go to the preview features section, you can watch a little preview of what you missed there. But in the members area, you'll find it now at the very top of the members area when you dive into your premium membership. You'll find the top 5 features. There's that one. There's Joe Wilkinson. He always just makes me laugh. Just looking at Joe is just hilarious. He's a great guy. We had him on last week before last. But you'll find there the full video and the audio. It's not a lot. I mean, you could listen to the audio on this one because it's so visual. I'd recommend you watch the video. But there's a lot of mastermind sessions we do where the audio is equally as valuable as the video. With this being so visual, I'd probably watch the video. But it is a 2-hour and 49-minute watch. So it's pretty long. I would settle in with a couple of coffees for that one. But that is there for you. I'm now going to play there's one more clip I want to play out on Showreels tonight, and it's just because of the popularity of Netflix shows like Bridgerton and The Crown. And what else is on at the moment that's massive, that's kind of period drama? I mean, All Creatures Great and Small is on Channel 5. Trying to think what else is out at the moment that's kind of period that's just like blowing up. It seems that period drama is like massive. The Queen's Gambit, I guess, what was that set? Was that 60s? I guess that's kind of period in a way, not too old. But although, actually, you know what? When you think of the 60s, you think, not that long ago, do you? Actually, 70 freaking years ago. It's insane. I still think of like last decade as like the 90s. And it's not at all. Like, I am pretty old, actually. It's a bit insane. But yeah, period drama is blowing up, which means Chris is being inundated with actors asking to shoot period drama scenes from scratch. Now, these are quite risky because they can either fly or completely fail. Other showreel scenes that are contemporary can just be a bit mediocre. I think period scenes either work or they're absolute dog shit. For a number of reasons: location, costume, language used in the scripts, people putting on RP accents that they don't need to put on because not everybody, in like a couple of hundred years ago spoke with an RP accent. That's absolutely not the case whatsoever. And so people think that period drama is, trying to be, the lady of the manor, in Downton Abbey or something like that. And it's just not the case. You can be way more authentic than that. But one of the big things as well is costume. People get like fancy dress costumes off Amazon and think that it's going to look good on camera. Here's just Chris's opinion. I think it's quite useful. We can discuss it a little bit on getting period drama scenes right if you're going to shoot them at all, because it is a risk. And for not everybody, and I include myself in this, I don't think everybody is right for period drama. I don't think I would be right for anything sort of pre-World War One. To be honest, I could see myself in that era. As the Victorian gent, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know if it's me. You see some people who you go, God, you look so old-fashioned. You've got an amazing face. You just look something like straight out of a Dickensian novel. Some people suit it, some people don't. I think you've really got to be honest with yourself about the eras that you fit into when you're shooting period. But here's just a 2-minute clip on trying to get them right at least.
Period drama is massive, and I mean humongous at the moment. So Bridgerton had 63 or 64 million households watched it in the first 4 weeks. The Crown was viewed more than the real Princess Diana and Prince Charles' wedding. Queen's Gambit. You've got all these big shows on. Creatures Great and Small. It's massive. It's a huge business.
If someone came to you and was like, Chris, I want to shoot period, what are like the key things for making that work?
The costumes have got to be on point. They have got to be absolutely spot on. We're talking, don't just get cheap fancy dress stuff. Go fully authentic to really sell it. Because you can give an amazing performance. You can get you could hire out a great location, or we could shoot it in a stunning forest or a field or something like that. But it could be let down with
fancy dress. Yeah,
anything could literally pull you out of it. So I've had actresses turn up and do 17th century stuff wearing having the nails painted.
God,
so I've had to crop stuff out. So and you're restricting my shots because I'm trying to hide stuff. Because if somebody spots that and then's looking at like bright red nails, then it pulls you out of the scene straight away. And if you're pulled out of the scene, then you've lost all the emotions, you've lost all the credibility,
it's a bit like when they see the Starbucks cup in the back of the Game of Thrones shot and you go,
Game of Thrones, yeah. But then you're pulled out of it,
Starbucks.
and then you're not listening to Daenerys and Jon Snow. You're going, oh, there's a Starbucks cup. So everything has to be right. And also, depending on the time period, it's like aeroplanes. They weren't planes in 17th century, so you really have to be hyper aware. So it does take a lot longer to shoot a period one. And then there's other things as well, like people with dyed hair wouldn't necessarily be, Victorian backwards, and also tattoos and stuff and piercings. So you've got to be aware of that. Can I just make one other point that not everybody is suited for period drama?
That's on this.tv if you want to watch the full 2-hour, 45-minute masterclass with Chris. But yeah, just a few things to think about, and any little thing can pull you out of period drama if you're not careful. Like you said, women with nails painted, that it just wasn't for the time, dyed hair, getting makeup wrong, costume wrong, things in back of shot, shooting on a flight path and having an airplane flying over in the background where like airplanes weren't even invented. What even invented? Why can I hear an aeroplane? You're in the Victorian era. You've got to be really careful when you're shooting period drama. A lot of that will come down to the script as well, like I say, in the language and that sort of stuff. If you're doing stuff that's shot from scratch and is bespoke, you're gonna have to have a good script writer to write something that's period drama and to get it right. But it's a few things, like I say, to think about. We in previous showreel surgeries, we've been over like loads and loads of the fundamentals of showreels. If you want to sort of go over those, again, head into the members area. You'll find previous sessions with Chris, not just the one that we did this time. We do one a quarter, so you'll find previous ones in there. And we'll continue to do them. So the next one we'll do over the summer, when there'll probably be another sort of popular style of reel that's being made that's not period drama, and we'll talk all about that as well. But let us know what your plans are for reels this year. Have you edited one recently? Have you been sending it out? Have you had any luck? I want to read you an email now that I got from an actor in the Acts on This community earlier, just as an example of like just doing it. You know, when you get an instinct, you get an impulse to send an email to someone to ask for what you want. Like, do it. Stop holding off, because it can lead to good things very, very quickly. I won't tell you the actress's name, but I want to read this. It says, "Hi Ross, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to send a quick email and thank you for everything you're doing at Acts on This. I found you guys last year and you've been giving me a new renewed drive for my career. I'm pretty driven anyway, but listening to your podcast has put even more of a rocket up my backside. I've got to say, that's just all lovely, lovely comments. I'm not here just to blow me on trumpet. Skip a bit, and it says, anyway, I was randomly listening to your chat with Alex Priestley. So Alex Priestley was an agent I did a podcast with a little while ago. She says, I thought, screw it, I'm going to send her an email. You never know. And I've only gone and got a meeting with her tomorrow. I'm so excited and wanted to thank you as you give me a load more confidence just to email people and not be scared of agents and casting directors. I really don't think I'd have sent that email if it wasn't for you. Have a great weekend. Look forward to more Acts on This content soon. And I'm only reading that just to show you, like, literally one email could change this actress's career now. You know, she signs with Alex tomorrow, potentially. Alex gets a phone call on Wednesday. You never know. This could happen. This girl is right for that thing. She gets seen. She could end up with her first role on TV within 2 weeks. Like, if you are not sending things out because you are afraid, like, you need to figure out in your head whatever it is that's holding you back. And maybe, you know what, maybe, I'll do some more. I'm going to do something. I'm going to relaunch Bulletproof Actor, which is a mindset program that I came up with for actors in like 2016. I've run it about 4 times. It's always been hugely successful. I'm developing a second version of it that I think I'm going to teach live, as opposed to it being over pre-recorded videos. You'll get the recordings of the videos afterwards, but I think we'll probably teach it live over a weekend. It'll be like a weekend seminar. A long one, though. It might be like 10 hours a day for a Saturday and a Sunday. But really this year, I want everyone to just focus on their mental game, because you might have the talent, you might have the business acumen, and you know how the industry works now if you're a member of Acts on This and you get it. But apart from that, the third piece of the puzzle is you. There's 3 pieces of the puzzle in the acting industry to have success. There's you, there's the craft, there's being good ultimately, and there's knowing the business of the business. And if you have just 2 of those things in any order, you'll fail. In my experience anyway, you can be super talented but not have any idea about the craft, about the business of the business, and you won't get any auditions because of that. You can have great knowledge about the business of the business, but you've not worked on your craft, so you're not good enough yet, and you'll get no auditions because you'll book no roles anyway because you're not good enough. And then you can have great knowledge about the industry. You can be a brilliant actor, you know exactly how it works, but then you're not right because fear is ruling you, rejection is ruling you. Your head is not strong enough. It's not in the game. So again, until all of those things are congruent with each other, you won't have the success you deserve. So I think mindset is something that a lot of actors kind of overlook. They focus on the training, they focus on accents, they focus on self-tape equipment, they focus on all of this stuff, and then they end up doing nothing with it because they feel like they're being busy when they're buying the cameras, they're buying the self-tape backdrops, they're buying the microphones. I've been here myself when I bought loads of kit. It's so exciting buying things, isn't it? I love spending money, and I don't even have any. I love spending money that I don't have at the moment anyway, until we can get a bit more work in. But then there comes a point once you've bought all that kit, and I've experienced this myself when I've spent a lot of money. When I used to shoot back in the free times, when I used to shoot in-person interviews, and we had multiple cameras. We shot some beautiful broadcast quality multi-cam interviews in Media City with some top casting directors and agents and stuff, and some great actors. That's all stopped obviously for now. But there was a point when I was planning to do all that stuff where I was buying all of the kit, and it felt wonderful. I was like, oh my God, I'm investing. It was thousands of pounds, but it was lovely to kind of go out and splash out. And that was a distraction, because then the second it was all in front of me, I went, shit, now what? I've actually got to use this. And that was the scary thing. I had everything that I needed to go out there and have success with that kit. The thing that was broken was my head. Going, oh my God, I've actually got, what do I do now? How do I set all this stuff up? What if I go to all this trouble of spending all this money on a venue, getting a guest organised, hiring makeup artists to come and make the guests look great, getting all the lighting sorted? And then what happens if, like, I don't know, there's one of the cameras breaks? And I'm like, oh my God, all that effort. I don't even know how to use cameras. I have to get a director and all this sort of stuff. And suddenly it became like a big task, where really it was just about getting out and doing it and just learning. And the only way you would learn is by doing it. But had I not sort of, figured my head out, I wouldn't have ever took the action. And I think there's a lot of actors in that situation. It's not kit that they've bought, but it's training that they've bought. They've worked on the craft. They know the business. They're ready. They should be able to have success. And yet it's themselves that is stopping them from going out and using that kit, which ultimately is themselves. Because we are, I guess, our own kit, aren't we? So maybe we'll run some sessions on that soon as well. Harry says, I redid my reel, posted it in the community. Don't think the site supports Spotlight Media Player. I'm trying to get it to play, so I commented on my post with a repost. Best to put it on. If you got it on YouTube, Harry, or what? You can have it as unlisted on YouTube, and obviously just post the link there, mate. Yeah, Spotlight doesn't have an API, which is ultimately the way websites can talk to one another to embed media. Even with the new rebrand, I don't think Spotlight site's particularly great or current. So I don't know I don't think it will have an embed function for their player. So it's best if you put in sharing reels in the Act on this like private community or anything like that. You can link to it on Spotlight and people go and watch it. But if you want it to embed actually in a post, I think you'll need it on Vimeo or YouTube or one of those players. But just keep it private if you don't want other people to discover it by accident. Nicole says, I don't know the business yet properly. Nicole, get involved with Ats on This, atsonthis.tv. Get a membership. We teach you every single week. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, with the biggest names in the business. Go to atsonthis.tv/challenge that you see down here. Get a free 10 hours of coaching. But you've got to do that by midnight tonight. Anyone who's just joined us now, atsonthis.tv/challenge. I'm running the 5-day Acting Career Accelerator Challenge. I do this every couple of months to sort of show new members what Acts on This is and how it works. It doesn't mean current members can't do it. By all means, go and get a place. But you would already have access to the content that's in this challenge anyway. But if you want to go through it in a structured way, go and get a place. But if you're not a member, it's an absolute no-brainer. You'll learn from the best people in the industry. I put it on YouTube in the comment under. Just delete the post, Harry, and post again, mate. Just click top right hand corner, delete post. It'll delete it, and then just post just create a new post just with the YouTube link, and that'll be much simpler, dude. Definitely. Brendan, how you doing? What's up? My head is broken. Brendan, we will sort your head out, mate. Brendan's a nurse on the front line. I think if I was a nurse on the front line and an actor, Brendan, my head would be a bit broken throughout this pandemic, mate. So I think we'll let you off. You need probably a little bit more sort of like time out and recuperation than most people with probably what you're dealing with on a daily basis. But I hope you're good. Shiv, hope you're well, mates. Right, what do I want to do now? So a few things actually I want to cover. Let me see if I've got any videos left to play. Yeah, I've got a little mashup to play later on. But what I want to do, I want some suggestions. I'll be completely, utterly transparent with you guys who are members of Acts on This, because this just happens sometimes. And this is where I need the community to kind of pull together and help me out. I book in advance roughly 5 guests at a time. So we're roughly working 5 weeks out. At the moment, it's quite difficult on scheduling because I can schedule a guest 4 or 5 weeks out. But with COVID, if they're a famous actor, or I shouldn't say famous, if they're just a successful actor, and they're working on a set that then there happens to be a case of COVID or even a false negative as well, or false positive, that would be it, wouldn't it? A false positive. It can throw things into disarray. And that's happened with the schedule this week. Okay, so let me share with you what's going on if I go onto my web browser. Which is where is it? My web browser, which is somewhere here. Let me share this. I think it's this. There you go. Let me go to the homepage. I'll show you the current schedule in the members area, which is here. Is what we've got so far. So it's a great lineup as well. It's a freaking cracking month. 9th of February, Daniel Edwards, one of the biggest cast directors in the game, is coming back to join us for a mastermind. He's currently casting something for Netflix called Heartstopper. It's based on a graphic novel. He's doing an 8-part series. It's going to be freaking massive. He's currently looking for people right now, but he's going to come and talk to us all about that on the 9th of February, 7:30. The week after, on the 17th, it's Wednesday. This is what happens as well when it's actors you're working with and they're on set and things change. This is Elizabeth Henstridge, incredible actress who stars in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a Marvel show, massive Marvel show. She plays a character called Gemma Simmons, who's like a biochemist. An incredible show. She's from Sheffield, but stars in one of the the biggest Marvel franchises in the world. An incredible show. Is going to talk to us about how she has done that, basically, on the 17th. That's a Wednesday, okay? It was supposed to be a Thursday. That's already changed. It's already changed to a Wednesday. But that's a night at the moment that Elizabeth definitely has off free, because she is filming something else, which is not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. But that'll be an incredibly interesting chat. The reason I wanted Elizabeth on as well is she's so good at leveraging what she is working on and vlogging it and talking all about it on YouTube. She's got a podcast as well. She's brilliant at repurposing what she's doing in a career in more of a kind of lifestyle way away from acting to build a brand that will then feed back into her acting. It's quite genius, really, when you think about it. But she's all just about putting content out, and a really good actress as well. We're going to watch on that live. We're going to watch her auditions for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think there's 3 tapes we're going to watch. But you will see, she's very, very good. You'll see her confidence grow between 3 screen tests until the final screen test, where she's opposite another actress who plays a guy called Fitz in the show. And they are brilliant. She shines massively, though, I think, in these auditions. And it's just it made me just think, God, that's the level I need to get to when I'm doing screen tests. I've only ever had a screen test once for a big show in America in my life. I hope I get another one, but she was exceptional. So that's the 17th. Then, this is an exclusive, 23rd of February, David Martin has never, ever done anything like a Zoom chat or any kind of mastermind or anything like that. I've worked on David for 5 years. I've worn him down so much that he is now going to come and join us on the 23rd, Tuesday the 23rd. He's the casting director for all kinds of stuff, things like Ackley Bridge, Cold Feet. He worked with Beverly Keogh to cast All Creatures Great and Small. Together they are doing a 2nd season of that right now. He just cast Help by Jack Thorne with Stephen Graham and Jodie Comer. Just a lovely, lovely guy as well, though. Such a good guy. And he's never wanted to do. He's never wanted to do one before, because I think he's. There's a reason why he just likes staying behind the camera. Doesn't like a lot of the limelight. So we'll be very gentle with David that night. But David's going to come on the 23rd. So we've got a cracking lineup this month. I won't show you what's coming on for March, just in case it changes. I've learned my lesson with that this week. But it means the agent who I had coming on this week was a top London agent. I won't say who it is, just in case we don't end up with them in the future. But we should end up with them in the future. That's the thing. We just had to rearrange. So at the moment, I am working behind the scenes to get a guest for Thursday, and I've got 3 days to do it, and I think I can do it. However, either would like your suggestions for who to go after, or if we were going to do a session on our own as a community, let me know what you would want that to focus on and how you would want it to kind of work. Do you want to do a Zoom meeting where we're all on camera at the same time, or do you want to do something more structured? Maybe you want me to present something. Maybe we do something on mindset. Or we delve into another area of the industry that you don't think we've touched on an awful lot over the last 12 months. I mean, that's when this has been going for 10 years, so we probably touched on everything at some point. But if there was something that, you're like, actually, I'd quite like to delve into that a little bit more, then let us know. Maybe we just want Chris Everett, a member in the community, to come on and give us a rendition of whatever he did at the Christmas party, very drunk on Zoom at 2:00 in the morning. Let me know what you want, basically. So let me know some chat now on Facebook. if you've got any ideas. Nicole, will directors and crew let you vlog on set? No. So anything Elizabeth's done's not been on set, Nicole. She has in hindsight shown things like, casting tapes and things like that for the show once it's already been done, but she will vlog afterwards or outside and around, and she will bring team members on from the crew and the cast, and she'll do sort of YouTube lives with them and things like that. So she really kind of embodies content creation from the shows that she is in without letting storylines, go, or anything that would be embargoed or anything like that. She's just ultimately, I guess, kind of like a show's dream cast member in terms of promoting the show they are in. I'll probably play the trailer for a vlog out on the night when we get Elizabeth on, but I'll show you the kind of things that she does. But she's just very much of the screw it, let's do it kind of mentality of let's not apologize for throwing my hat into the arena. And I'm sure there's some people don't like it, some people love it. You can't please everybody. She just does what she wants, and I think it's a great mentality to have in this industry. You don't have to be an actor. You can be an actor and a presenter and a podcaster and a vlogger and a writer if you want. You can dabble in directing, have a crack at producing. You can't do it all at once, otherwise I guess you can't do any of it well, but you can definitely dabble in 2 or 3 things at the same time and do a really good job of them. So yeah, I don't think anybody should just should just nail themselves down to just acting. Jill Halfpenny is at home on her own. She's just done the one show, so maybe contact her. Sharon, I'm ahead of you. Jill is coming back on That's On This. I was talking to her today. She stars in The Drowning this evening. It's on TV now. If you're here with me, obviously you're not watching Channel 5. Don't go and watch it. Stay with me because you missed 40 minutes of it. But do watch it on catch up after this. The Drowning is a fantastic new drama Jill stars in. I've seen the trailer. It looks amazing. Produced by Jason Mazza, who's been on That's On This.tv before. I'm going to try and get Jason and Noel Clark on together because they produced The Drowning. I think Noel produced it. Jason definitely co-produced it, I think. Their company, Unstoppable Film and TV. So yeah, Jill is definitely coming back on. I've got probably 12 guests in who have agreed. We're just sorting out the dates. I just wish I could schedule things 3 months in advance, but I've tried in the past and it just every time falls apart. So that's why now I'm going 4 at a time max, just because schedules change at the moment. It's in a pre-COVID world, it was way more stable. If people had their schedules, generally they would stick to the schedules, not all the time. But at the moment, one COVID case can throw filming off 10, 14, 28 days, depending on how severe it is. So things are a bit up and down. But let me know, any other guests and anything else that you would like to cover this week. Have you watched Twist? No, I haven't. That's on Sky Cinema at the moment. Again, Jason and Noel, they're crushing it. I love the boys' work ethic. And I think, to be honest, I still don't think Noel and Jason are getting the appreciation that they actually deserve for the work that they're doing. I think they're getting more of it, but I mean, they're just creating such great stuff, and it's all been hustle off their own backs. And I just think they deserve more fuss and credit, to be honest, for what they're actually doing. Any of the soap, serial, drama casting director, says Amy. Well, we've got Peter Hunt's been on a lot. The other casting director says anyone from the BBC is very kind of sure around doing things publicly because they work for the BBC. So I would love to get Julia Crampsey on and Wayne Lynch and Roland Beckley and John Cannon and everybody like that. But because they are effectively sort of it's all paid by the license fee payer, they don't like to talk publicly about or on behalf of, because it would be seen like they're talking on behalf of the BBC, which they're not allowed contractually to do. So it's tough, it's tricky. The team at Corrie don't like being in front of the camera. They're lovely people. Jenny is awesome. Sophie Flanagan, everyone's so sweet and lovely, but don't like being on camera. So that's always a tricky one. Ezra at Corrie, Emmerdale, again, doesn't like being on camera. Faye Starrett I've not talked to in a while. I might be able to get Faye to come and have a chat with us. But yeah, not everyone, and I get it, not everybody likes... the reason a lot of people work behind the scenes creatively is because they didn't want to be the people in front of the camera. So when I'm going, why don't you come on That's On This and let a few hundred people stare at you and we'll ask you questions about your job. It's not for everyone, and I get that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But anyone else who you think of, do let me know. Brett Fallis, I've been in touch with Julie. Absolutely, Brett's agreed. So that should happen at some point. I've seen Face starring. I've sent. I can't speak tonight. Face starring an email about getting walk-on parts. Hope things come back possible. Yes, it's not. I don't think Faye deals with a lot of the walk-on stuff, Nicole. It would be more through walk-on agency that would deal with that. So you should definitely look at if that's where you're at and you want to kind of start getting experience on set, doing some background work. Then yeah, definitely. All of the soaps use so many people. And they use quite a lot of people regularly as well. Once you're in, I used to do background work when I was like 16, 17, before I went to drama school just to get a bit of experience on set. And they were really quite loyal after a bit. You would get the same kind of, like in the pub on Corrie. I mean, obviously I wasn't old enough to drink, but you'd get the same kind of regulars in there because that was the idea. You saw the similar faces. Even the postman in Corrie, who I don't think ever really said any lines, was the same guy for many, many years. But yeah, I would get in touch with Faye will be able to tell you who actually books all that stuff and potentially some of the agencies that they use for that. Let's see what else is going on. Would they be up for a podcast instead of a Zoom? It's a good idea, Alex, mate. Do you know what? Because I do want to, after COVID allows us to be in person again, I do want to start doing some in-person pre-recorded podcasts because I think there is a lot of merit in giving you those as well as the Zoom calls, because I can go really deep on somebody's, experiences and life as well. I think sometimes delving into somebody's life and experiences when they work in the industry is really useful because actors feel that they get to know the person, not just the casting director. They understand what makes the person tick, or the writer or the director or the producer, etc. So when we're all vaccinated, if we can stop getting variations of COVID that the vaccine might not work on, because that's a bit scary, but we won't focus on that. When we're all vaccinated, yes, I would love to start creating podcasts with people because they might want to do that more than a Zoom call because then they're not on camera. They are just, it's just audio and they can come and sit with me and have a brew and we can talk a little bit, a bit more relaxed. So maybe those people who are a bit shy to be on camera, would be up for coming and, doing a podcast. But yeah, I would love to give you guys those. Maybe we do, sort of 3 Zoom calls a month and then 1 week I release a pre-recorded podcast that you can listen to in your own time. They would be like long though. I don't know about you guys, but I freaking love, maybe I'm a bit weird, but I love a really long podcast. I love it when I get my favourite podcast up, if I'm listening on iTunes or some of the ones I'm subscribed to, and it says 2.5 hours. I'm like, yes! I just love diving in and you listening to it in parts as well. Maybe not all at once. Sometimes all at once. If I listen to it all at once, I always regret it because I'm like, oh god, I should have saved some of that. I've got to go and walk to my mum's now or something. I should have saved that for the walk. But yeah, I will. I'll definitely inquire, Alex, see if we can get some people to do the podcast as well as if they didn't want to do, something on camera. Julie Hesmondhalgh. Well, we've had Julie on twice, Sharon. So there is in the archive. There is a podcast with Julie. That wasn't that long ago because it was when I'd moved in here. It was within the last 2 years because she was sat opposite me, opposite this desk now. So there is one, but Julie, I'm sure would come back and have a chat with us anytime. Carleen Crawford's office, absolutely, was in touch today. Kyle was in touch with Ross Barrett today. Hopefully, we can get, him on his Carleen's one of Carleen's associates. I'd see if Carleen herself would be up for it. Let's have a look, see what else we've got here. Joseph Milson. Why don't I know Joseph Milson, Andrew? Have you sent me? Was that who you sent me? Have you sent me an email recently? Haven't you? I'm not replying, mate. I've not checked it out properly yet. But yeah, I will check that out definitely. Any other suggestions? Either says God no 30 minutes. I love audio, man. I love audio way better than video. That's why I always give people, when we do the Zoom calls, I always give you the audio replay as well as the visual replay. I just think audio, because I'd love doing something else on a Sunday. I know it's really sounds really boring, but I've blitzed my flat from top to bottom. I really have to have a totally spanking clean environment to start on a Monday. And I love having a podcast on whilst I'm doing the cleaning, literally with my hands down the toilet. It's nice if you got a podcast on. Definitely. Orla O'Connor. Yeah, absolutely. Brendan would be worth a shout. Yeah, any of these, I'll start writing these down. Something about building relationships with casting associates or agent assistants. Natalie, we've had a lot of agents associates on. So we've had Seth Mason on, we had Alyssa Rogers on, we had Johnny Boutwood on, Amy Rain Jackson. These are associates for the biggest. Amy Rain Jackson is Amy Hubbard's associate. Seth Mason is Victor Jenkins and Andy Briley's. Briley. I always forget because I've got two. I always forget how Andy likes it. It's Andy. Oh God, he's gonna kill me because he hates it when you get it wrong. I've got a friend who's Brealey, so he must be Briley. Yeah, Briley. He likes it Briley. Seth is their associate. Johnny Boutwood is Shaheen Baig's associate. Who else I say? Alyssa Rogers is Fiona Weir's associate. So these are big associates. If I can get Ross on from Carlene's, that'd be great as well. In terms of building the relationships with those, Natalie, it's just about like treating them like you treat casting directors, in terms of, keeping them in the loop with what you're doing. Still inviting them to shows that you're in when we're allowed to be in shows. They won't get as many invites as the casting directors. So it's like, just sort of not forgetting them, and just, making sure that they know you exist. It's exactly the same as it would be for contacting anyone in the industry, really. But definitely don't oversee associates. Lucy Allen we had on, Daniel Edwards' associate. I definitely would get assistants on as well, though. I think assistants are always generally a bit newer to the industry, super hungry, dead enthusiastic, and they often work for lots of different casting directors over a short period of time whilst they're getting their experience. So they've got a lot to offer as well. If there's anyone who you think would be good, do let me know. Ethan says, I hate being interrupted. 30 minutes would be good as long as I could get before I'm bothered. So you want to listen to it all at once before you're interrupted, Ethan? I quite like putting a podcast into bits, going, right, I'm going to listen to this in 5 sections. I love the audio. I watch while I'm doing my weekly shop. Do you, Caroline? Nice. It's good to know that I'm with you in Sainsbury's. Hopefully with everyone wearing a mask. You know what? I went to Sainsbury's on Sunday. I just don't understand people walking around with a mask under their noses. It makes me want to slap their faces. Go, what are you doing? What's the point of putting a mask on if you're just going to have your nose hanging out of it? Insane. But yeah, hopefully the podcast is keeping you company while everybody's being safe, Caroline. Right, what else has got? Oh God, we've only got 10 minutes left. We might as well do some Q&A, basically, just to do some chat. What do you want to talk about? Because I've well overgone. We've been going for 50 minutes. I thought we've been going for about half an hour. I'm going to play the mashup for Chris's showreel surgery we did last week. I'll play that at the end. Then I'm going to go away and I'm going to try and get you guys a guest for Thursday night. If we didn't have a guest, what would you want to do? Because obviously I don't want to waste the session and go, oh, no session this week. We're definitely doing a session because it's, I think it's vital that we do, and that's obviously what you're paying your membership for. So let me know what you would want to focus on if we had a group discussion, if we focused in on one thing, something that you think I could help you with. Do let me know what you might want that to be, and I could maybe plan something that's a bit more in depth on a certain topic. I want to start doing as well, like member spotlights in terms of like, maybe we do a round table where we get, maybe there's four members of the community who have recently signed with agents. And then we go, right, come and tell us what you implemented and how that worked for you. Just so anyone else in the community who is at that point and like that exact point, because sometimes, it's great listening to people who have won BAFTAs and Oscars and Emmys and they've crushed it. But sometimes it's really useful to listen to people who are doing exactly what you want to do at exactly the right level that you are at. So maybe we do that as well, where we do a round table with just some people in the community who have done and achieved the things that others in the community want to achieve. And then that's like gold. It's equally as important as getting someone on who's been in the industry 10 years and is smashing it, as to getting someone on who is breaking through to their next level that might not be top of the industry. I think that would be pretty good. So let's say in a one-off book club, we could look at books. We could definitely look at books, definitely. Definitely mindset is always good. So Sandra, or something about how you can create your own stuff if you don't have money. Well, Sandra, you're the one to talk about that with the scenes that you shoot. You shoot some great scenes. So you don't need help with that. You're doing that already. Nicole says she's asked a question. Nicole, what have you asked? I've missed it. I don't always see all the comments. I don't think Facebook shows me everything that people type in, unfortunately. There's a lot of comments. I think there's one here, you've said, any advice when meeting a possible agent? It's really just honesty. The only thing I would say when you're meeting prospective agents is be completely upfront and honest and transparent about what you want from that relationship, what you want them to put you forward for, what work you want to do and what work you don't want to do is equally as important. If you don't want to do theatre or you don't want to do commercials, don't be afraid to say that. It's always good to ask them how they would market you. what they see your casting type as, if their vision for you and their belief system is aligned with yours, because sometimes you can have great ambition and goals you want to achieve. And I know one agent in particular who spoke to an actor in our community last week, who had the most defeatist attitude I've ever heard. I thought it was pointless, and thank God you didn't sign with them. I mean, like, just a really poor attitude. And that's what you need to realize. It's not just, I said this a lot these days, but it's not just actors who have limiting beliefs around what they can and can't achieve. Some agents have limited beliefs about what they can and can't achieve for their clients. And they're putting a glass ceiling on their agency because they won't hustle to the level that I would expect an agent to hustle for me, or that I would hustle for myself. You're never going to be able to expect your agent to work as hard as you do for you. You know, you pay your agent, you know, at the most 20%, so they should really only ever be doing 20% of the work. You know, you should be bringing 80% of the work to the table. But there are some whose visions are very limiting. Like, they just don't, you know, they're playing it small. So you want to make sure that your vision for yourself is aligned with their vision for you as well, and what they think is possible. And that's it. And then just be honest, be yourself. You know, don't try and be what you think they want, because that will always go wrong. Because, you know, after 6 weeks in a relationship and you both find out what you really like, if you both, I guess it's like any relationship, innit? You know, everyone's on the best behavior, aren't they? When you start a new relationship with somebody, both parties are like, they're both working out in the gym, they're both trying to impress each other, you're both being super thoughtful, you bring flowers, and then sort of like, you know, 8 weeks, 12 weeks in, the lid on the pot starts to sort of lift off a bit and the frogs start jumping out and you go, oh God, like, I didn't know I was signing up for this. It can be like that if you're not honest with an agent from the start, because it is quite like a partnership. So it is a relationship that's quite, you know, can be not intimate in that sense, but it is intimate in terms of you work closely together to achieve a common goal. Caroline sent a tape to Alyssa today. Nice one. Forget about it now, she says. Yeah, forget about it. That's a good attitude, definitely. Not a question, but Ross, you should offer one-to-ones. Yeah, I just can't do it, Alicia. I'd literally, it's something I've never, that's why I do the Rapid Fire Friday calls for members, where you can have a little one-to-one on every other Friday. We do that for members of actsonthis.tv. We jump on a call at 4 p.m. every other Friday. An implementation call, really, to make sure people are implementing what they're learning on the mastermind calls. But yeah, one-to-ones is something that I just have no capacity for, really. And also, I don't like the one-to-one. This is just my own personal preference. I don't like the one-to-one dynamic a lot of the time, in terms of, from my own experience of personal growth and learning, I always find learning in a group environment like so much more impactful, because I hear and I can get feedback from the group, and I hear a lot of other people's issues or problems and roadblocks that they're going through, and I can relate them to my own, and I can just learn. I just learn a lot more. Sometimes things that I didn't even know I needed to learn when I'm in a group coaching environment where you hear from so many different people. So I think there's a lot of value, and I get more inspired in a group as well. Doing even one-to-one business coaching, to be honest, recently I've stopped it. I've stopped it completely because it was depressing. Honestly, just going to be completely honest and transparent with you. It got to the point where it's like, I can't do this. I need to learn in a group. I need to learn in a group of people. I'm growing Acts on This as a business. You know, it was never meant to be one. It came about from just being a hobby and me going, let's get a load of actors together. And then I've gone, well, actually, you know what? To make this what I want it to be, I need resources, and that resources is a business, and in terms of money to be able to do things and to be able to fund stuff and pay staff. So I never sort of, I was never versed in business. And then, I'd been working for the last year one-to-one with somebody. Got to the point last month where I was like, this will be the last month we do this, because I can't deal with the intensity of it when it's just one-on-one. It's just too much. I just learn better. Honestly, I just learn better in a group environment. But that is just personal preference. I can see how some people do literally want a step-by-step hand-holding type thing, which might work for you. But I just love being around other people, I think. And I was all doing it. I feel maybe it's a safety thing. I just feel safer when we're all doing it together, which is why, I've built Acts on This as a community like this. But it is... it's an interesting one. There's definitely no army one-to-ones with casting directors. That's a great idea, because you get to meet, obviously, on a one-to-one basis, the people who you want to see for a job. That's a totally different dynamic. I'm not talking about that. Meeting people for a one-off meeting is great. Meeting that same person every single week for a year might not work out as great. In my own experience, that's all. Round table with people starting out. Someone said, what's the news on Spotlight? It's been taken over. Yeah, Casting Networks have bought it, Yasmin. So an American company, the group. They're not gonna amalgamate it. At the moment, there's no plans to make Casting Networks and Spotlight the same thing. I'd be very interested to know what it sold for. I'd be really interested to know what it sold for. I think in terms of, let's figure out what Spotlight would be turning over, because it's going to be a fair old chunk of change. It's more than that's on this. If I get to the level of Spotlight, you guys can have it all for free. The ones who supported me from the beginning. So let's have a look. I think there are, oh God, it's something mental. Like, isn't there 60,000 actors or something like that registered to Spotlight? Maybe more. I think I'm playing this conservatively. I think there's like 65, 70,000. Let's go for 60 though. And they're paying £150 each. So you're looking at roughly 9 million in subscription payments for Spotlight. And then they've got the room hire in Leicester Square. They've got the events and stuff that they run. I think that it wouldn't be a far cry that they're turning over 12, 15 million pounds a year. I'd love to know what Casting Networks bought them for. And there's no way Spotlight can ever plead poverty. Like they've got no money. Even in a pandemic, we're all still paying our subs, which is fine as well. You know what? I see a lot of actors. I saw a thread online the other day attacking Spotlight for not freezing actors' payments or making them cheaper or something like that. And just to play devil's advocate, guys, you've got to realise that, you know, Spotlight's rent are not going, hi Spotlight, we're going to freeze your rent, don't bother paying us. And they're in Leicester Square. If you want Spotlight to exist after the pandemic, you have to still pay your subs and support it now. Otherwise, it won't be there when this is over. It's like your local restaurant. You know, if you had a favourite restaurant that you were going to every week for a date night before the pandemic started, please support them now if they're doing takeaway. Because if you don't, they won't be there after the pandemic. You've got to kind of realise that in your head. If you don't support the services that you needed before the pandemic, they won't be there for you when we're out of this. So I did want to stick up for Spotlight a little bit there. Even though I think some things they take for granted that they're sort of above the acting law, and it's like, you know, they get a bit complacent, like, you need us, we're not going away. I think, you know, we have to cut them a bit of slack. You still have to pay your dues, even if you're not getting as much work from Spotlight as you were doing, just because, like, you know, the industry does kind of need it as a service right now. And if it's not there when we're all out of this, then we're gonna have to start again with something. And that might just hinder you getting work quicker when we're out of this mess. So it is an interesting one. I get it though, how people are struggling. Everybody's struggling. You just need to, you know, do what you can to support the things that you think are important and the things that you want to still be around when we're out of this. Yvonne says, what advice would you give someone just starting out in the industry in their 50s? Oh, Yvonne, first piece of advice I would say is you are only at half time, Yvonne. Think of that. What I wish I could do for people in their 50s, because I deal with a lot of people in this community who have come to the industry later in life, and I think it's an amazing thing. It's courageous. I think it's absolutely brilliant that people are doing this, but people instantly start off with the mentality of it's too late, or it's already too late. I'm already like missed the boat. And I want you to rewind to your earliest memory and go, right, how long does it feel since your first memory to where you're at now? Because you've got that, if you play your cards right and you look after your health, you've got that all to do again. So if you're in your 50s, you're just at half time, Yvonne. You've got so much time left on the clock. You've basically got another bat. You know, you've got another at bat. This is your second crack at it. And if your first crack wasn't what you wanted, like, don't waste this one. Go all in. Be courageous. Realize that every piece of life experience you have had over the last 50 years has made you a better, you know, more rounded individual. The good and the bad times will have unlocked emotional states that you can now access as an actor. If you've had children, that's incredible. You can bring that to the role. If you've had loss in your life, marriages, divorces, kids, death, everything has made you into this potentially incredible actor that you can now be for the next 50 years. So I think my advice would be work on that. Get more excited about what's to come than sad about what's already happened. That would be my advice. I know that's quite difficult. I'm only 38 and I still get that thing of going, shit, I'm going to be 40 in 2 years and not even got a wife, and I should have a kid and a wife by now. I'm like, what's going on? But just realize this, that time and age was all made up. If we didn't have, I always love this idea of going, if we didn't have a scale for age and I met you, how old would I think Yvonne was? If people could see our souls as opposed to our physical appearances, how would people treat us differently then? How would people show up in the world then? Age is completely misconstrued. It's like, I think if you think a 70-year-old in your head is this stooped over old frail man, from my perspective, I would probably grow into that. If I see a 70-year-old as an active, strong, healthy guy who's still out there hustling, I'll probably grow into that. So I think you end up with sort of like, your thoughts become things and visions become realities. And I know a lot of people, when I used to go to the gym, before they closed in November, worked out every day, with some of the most inspiring people in my life, and they were all like 84 to 93. I always used to remember, I used to always mention Neil, who works out in the gym with me in the morning. He couldn't even remember his age of on. He was like, I don't know if I'm somewhere between 90 and 93. But every morning he got to the gym, and it would take him 15 minutes to walk from the door to the treadmill, but he'd do it. And I say, morning, Neil, how you doing? He'd say, I'm alive, I made it. And this guy had like skin cancer on his head for like 6 months. He beat that. I just really hope he's still with us now. He was obviously getting on a bit, and I just really hope he's stayed safe during this pandemic. But yeah, that's the sort of guy I want to grow into. And I want to grow into someone who feels they're finished at 60. And that goes for everybody of any age. Like, everything, every bit of success in this industry and in your life, I feel it's just you against yourself. A lot of the time, it just is. That's why I love marathon running, because that is a real battle of you against yourself. Everything in your body can be saying, stop, Ross, stop, and the pain will go away. And this little stubborn sod inside is going, don't be stupid. Keep going. If you stop, you'll never start again. And it's a real battle of wills. But they reckon, the SAS reckon, I don't know where they get this stat from as well, but I think it's a fascinating stat, that when you feel that you are completely exhausted and you are out of it, like you cannot go inch further, they reckon physiologically you're only 40% done. It's amazing. You probably have it in you to go a lot further. So don't think that, you're completely finished at whatever age you're at in the acting industry. You're probably only 40% done, even if you feel that's it and you're completely done. Caroline's a marathon runner. It's good, isn't it, Caroline? It's addictive as hell. When I first started running, I hated it. But then you get to the point where you're like, no, this is me against myself. Come on, I'm going to go and beat myself. Sounds wrong, doesn't it? But like, I just love it. I love that element of it. What a lad, 93 and in the gym. Yeah, honestly, Alex, and he didn't even know if he was 93. He just knew he was between 90 and 93. He'd forgot. He'd completely forgot. And Sharon says, Ross, look at Cedar. So Cedar's in the Acts on This community, yeah. She didn't even know when she was born. Yeah, exactly. And she didn't care. So Cedar was from, where's she from? Tibet. Is a member of the Acts on This community. Amazing woman. I don't know her history of her birth and how she, like family stuff and things like that, but didn't know her exact date of birth. So a doctor, I think when she was in her 11, 12, in her teens or something, figured out roughly from the way her teeth had grown, how old she was. And she's just like, yeah, I'm roughly like this. It doesn't impact me. I think there's merit in us all looking at ourselves like that, And Brendan said his mum's 87 and still swims 54 lengths every day. Wow. Brendan, mate, that's amazing. Tell her huge respect. I used to do 30. I used to do 30 at the baths, at the local baths. That was enough. 54. That's why she's got to 87 or like that, because she's probably not started that when she was 87, Brendan. She's probably been doing that her whole life, and that's why she's fit and healthy. Right, I'm gonna love you and leave you guys, but I will keep you posted on what's going down on Thursday. Hopefully I'll get a guest. I mean, there's loads of people on my radar. I've sent so many messages out today to go, listen, I know this is short notice. Any chance you want to do Thursday night? Lots of people have gone, I'll definitely do it, but I just can't do Thursday. So we've got even more guests than ever lined up, but it's just this week. And you'll have to just cut me some slack and forgive me, because it just happens. I try my hardest to bring you the best people I can every single week, but occasionally, the industry and COVID right now beats me a little bit, but I will do my best to get you someone great to talk to before Thursday. We'll all have a nice time. And Harry says, can we look into some actors that have taken a long time to get their careers? He had great guests, but all of them had incredible agents from day one. There must be some actors out there who took a long time to get a decent agent and maybe didn't get a break till 50. There's loads of those people. Not every guest I've had on has had it. I mean, the thing is though, there's not a single person I've ever interviewed over the last 10 years who has not worked their absolute backside off to get to where they have got to. And a lot of them, it seems that the key to them getting those agents was never to try and get those agents. I think you can get so fixated on going, I have to sign with this person and that person, that actually you stay so paralyzed. You never create any work at all because all you're doing is going, I'll create work when I'm signed with them. You're never going to sign with them until you create work. Rachel Shenton's a great example of that. You know, we had her on recently, and you know, I know her career back to front. Known her a long time, and yeah, that was certainly not a matter of going, I've got a great agent straight away. She was with a tiny agency in Stoke. You know, back in the day. Amanda Andrews, great, you know, lovely woman, but very small boutique agency in Stoke, not even in Manchester, not even in London. It was through Rachel's determination and hustle. And then even when she was having success, nobody wanted to see her, to the point where she had to create her own short film, and she happened to win an Oscar for it. Like, there comes a point where you go, screw the system. I'm at that point where I'm like, honestly, I'm not interested in being in other people's stuff. It's got to the point where, yeah, of course, I'd be very happy to oblige if it happens, but I'm way more excited by creating my own work now, writing my own stuff, you know, funding it, finding backing, doing that, because I'm like, look, why should I wait and ask permission to be in someone else's stuff? Because I've seen in this industry so many times that there is a combination. The hustle will always pay off in the end, but there always comes a point where there's a sprinkling of magic and a sprinkling of luck that comes at the right time when that person's hustling, that creates the end game. So like Joe Wilkinson told us last week, when we had him on, that, you know, his video that he put out 5 years earlier had 400 views, and eventually 5 years later, one of those views is Ricky Gervais, and it changed the game for him. But he was still out creating work every week, doing the stand-up circuit, creating sketches with Diane Morgan, constantly creating, because he was like, one thing I could never do is sit there and wait. So that's the thing. It's like, you know, everyone who was signed with those agents from or as you're seeing from the start, wasn't really from the start. If you really look into it, they were already creating stuff that got them noticed before they got that break. So I think if you focus intently on, I won't do anything till I've got this agent, that's my main focus, I don't think you'll ever get the agent, because you'll never do the things you need to do in order to pique the interest, because you'll always be there cap in hand asking, as opposed to them going, fucking hell, Harry's just created this thing and that's got loads of traction, that's doing really, really, really well. He's now intriguing and I want to talk to him. He's not constantly knocking at my door going, can I come in now? Hi, can I come in now? Can I come in now? It's like, make yourself attractive. It's like dating, isn't it? You always want the ones who are either taken or the ones who are doing incredible things. You don't go, I'll get with you and then we'll do incredible things. And then it's like, it always comes first that they're, you know, you kind of be the thing that you want to attract. That's the thing. It's like for people who literally are going, right, I want a guy or a girl who ticks these 20 boxes. Well, just become those 20 things yourself. And you will find yourself in scenarios where you're going to find other people who tick all 20 boxes. It's very hypocritical to go, I want a guy or a girl who ticks these 20 boxes, and you don't tick any. So same with an agent, you know, you go, right, I want this agent and then I'll be a great actor. No, because to sign with the agent, become a great actor first. Hustle, create work, show them why they should be attracted to you. To the point where almost like you don't need them. You're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'll come in for a meeting if you want. That's what I like. I love being the underdog. I love surprising people. I love plotting in the background, plotting away behind the scenes and just dropping something on people that they don't expect. And I love not needing anybody. I mean, you always need help from people. Of course you do. You should go out and ask it. But there's something empowering where you're like, actually, you know what? I think I can do this on my own, or I can have a good crack at it. And then I'll find other people along the way who think they can do it on their own, and we'll all team up and we'll show people like Noel and Jason have done. That's what I love about them boys. They just gone like, screw you all, not us. Don't want to be in your stuff. We'll go and make our own. And now everybody who I imagine at one point was not backing them is now retweeting all this stuff and backing them because they're going, shit, actually, you know what? They've gone and done it and they did it without us. Shit, we need a bit of their success now, so we'll be friendly again. I don't think that's why what I was saying before, and I don't know this, and I'm not speaking for them at all because I don't know them enough, but from my observations of them over the last 5 years, I don't think they've had the support that they would have got if they were other people in the industry. And it's only now they're having the success based off their own hard work that other people are now like, oh yeah, we'll be friends with you. You know, I think that speaks volumes to a lot of a lot of people. So go out there and just show people why they should be interested in you, Harry. Definitely. Right, gonna love you and leave you guys. I'm gonna play it's 10 past 10, isn't it? Gonna play the mashup of Chris Stone's mastermind that we did last week. Again, all about showreels. The second one we've done with Chris. We do this every quarter. If you're not a member of actsonthis.tv yet, don't forget actsonthis.tv/challenge. Go and get your free place on the challenge by midnight. I'm probably going to send an email out to the list of non-members as well at 11 o'clock. I'll give you a 60-minute warning. It will close at midnight. It's not like a fake scarcity thing. No one else can join after midnight because it's started already. If you start tomorrow, you'll be a day behind on the challenge. I'll just check in and see how many people are currently on the challenge to let you know how many people you are going to be up against. Well, not up against, because it's not a competition. It's how many people will be joining you on this 5-day challenge. Again, it's an inspiring group of people. Currently, 200 and... What did I say? 240? Oh, no, 239. I thought it was 240. 239 people are currently on the 5-day challenge. But actsonthis.tv/challenge. If you want to get your place, go and get it before midnight. Take part. I'll see you in the private Facebook group. And thanks for being here. It means the world. I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on Thursday. Alicia says, thanks to all the positive people who keep the community positive. Keep it positive. Keep it classy. Keep it positive, people. Until next time, here's a bit of Chris Stone. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's inside the members area for you now. I'll hopefully see you guys Thursday night. Until then, bye for now. Actors, the time has come. I want to invite you to the very first actsonthis.tv member-only live... No, did it wrong. I played the trailer out. Not the trailer, is it? It's the actual mashup. I played the trailer out. Don't worry about that. That's because it's live. You know, we go wrong sometimes. I'll do that again. Here's Chris Stone. Until next time. Bye for now. Special guest really needs no introduction, but I will give him one anyway. In my opinion, the UK's premier showreel producer with literally thousands of actors' showreels under his belt, both edited and shot by this guy. It's Mr. Chris Stone. Chris, good evening. How are you? What's new in the world of showreels? What's popular right now? What are actors asking for? What are the mistakes you're seeing made? What are the triumphs you're seeing being made as well?
I cut a showreel for an actress. I did it, was it last week or the week before? I cut it on the Wednesday night. She had it on the Thursday morning. She sent it out Thursday afternoon. Friday morning, she had an offer of representation. I could actually see you in something like Bridgerton, but it needs to be right, because it just pulls me out of it straight away. So I'm not watching performances. All I'm thinking is green screen. Period drama is massive, and I mean humongous at the moment. So Bridgerton had 63 or 64 million households watched it in the first 4 weeks.
If someone came to you and was like, Chris, I want to shoot period, what are like the key things for making that work?
The costumes have got to be on point. They have got to be absolutely spot on. We're talking, don't just get cheap fancy dress stuff. It's so engaging to watch. And I didn't realise watching it was 4:46 because you can't take your eyes off it. I don't get bored watching it. It's one of the longest reels I've ever seen, but it's absolutely incredible. What
are like the absolute do's and don'ts, like the things that you must think about to begin with, and then the absolute pitfalls where you go, this could all go wrong if you don't put this in place straight away?
Spend the time looking at whoever's making it, me or whoever. Just spend the time researching, watch lots, and I mean lots and lots of their scenes. That's what I always say to all the actors that I work with is I don't want the casting director or whoever was watching this just sat back watching it going, I want them sat forward. I want them, engaging, going, oh my God, is she lying? Oh my God, she's in love with him. I want them laughing. I want them crying. I want fear in the pit of the stomach. I want them disgusted. I want them turned on. I want them to have some sort of emotional, physical reaction to your reel, because that will put you ahead 99.99% of other people.